Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us in our webinar. We're really excited to talk to you guys today about flexible seating in the classroom and how that can be beneficial for you as the teacher, as well as for the students and their overall learning in your classroom. My name is Sarah, and I'll be walking you guys through this along with my partner, Allie. So we're going to go ahead and get started right now. But before we do that, we just wanted to kind of survey you guys and see where your head's at. You hear the words flexible seating. There's a lot of different things that come to my mind when I think about it. And I know we talked about how there's a lot of different ways this could be interpreted. So if you want to go right down here to this link, you can go ahead and write your responses in that minute chat. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to go ahead and do that. And we just kind of want to know what comes to your head when you first hear flexible seating. This could be anything from how you think the classroom looks to what you think the students are doing or how the teacher is teaching, what you've seen in classrooms, as well as some non-examples could be all things that you share with us in this chat. So whatever you feel comfortable with or however you interpret flexible seating, we're just curious to see where everybody's at so we know how to share moving forward. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for your responses. We'll definitely consider that as we're talking, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the information that we've gathered to share with you guys. So I'm going to hand it over to Allie.
So what is flexible seating in the classroom? It is a non-traditional way to set up a classroom. This is not seen in many classrooms, and students choose where they sit and where they would like to work. So they choose maybe who they work best with and what areas of the classroom they would be most successful in to work in. And they often include beanbag chairs, which are really fun, small rugs, lower tables, standing tables, roller chairs / tables. So these are fun and unique ways and situations for students to work in that gets them excited and gets them set up to be as productive as they can without just sitting down in one seat and their desk all day. They have more energy and more choice in the classroom. So what are some benefits of flexible seating? Number one, we have a couple that we're going to be talking about. So the first one is choice. Students feel very empowered by having choice in the classroom and control over their environment. I think that, flexible seating allows students to have a say in their learning and options of how they are going to be the most successful during their school day. They're not just told where to sit, what to work on, who to work with. They have choice and opportunity to, push themselves to reach their fullest potential. Flexible seating allows students to choose where they work with and with whom. It also allows them to change their location and positions as needed. And then the second benefit is physical health. Children need to move and get out of their seats. I think that they're the most productive when their blood is flowing, they're up on their feet, they're not just in one location, kind of stuck in a part of the room. They're, getting up, stretching their bodies, and getting back to work. And then flexible seating allows them to stand, bounce, fidget, and gets their blood flowing. They can wobble, rock, bounce, lean, and just it increases their oxygen flow to their brain and core strength. It also allows students not feel trapped in their classroom and take full advantage of the space. I think that oftentimes students sit in their one seat at their table and they're hardly getting to all the locations in the classroom and not taking full advantage of the space. So it's a good way for students to, take advantage of their classroom and, interact with other students and not feel trapped in their learning. It also helps keep young minds more alert and focused. I think that if you sit in one space all day, your mind can wander, you can start daydreaming. But if you are up, moving, you're around the room, it, helps you stay concentrated and there's less daydreaming and you're more alert and focused.
Yeah, so the third benefit is going to be comfort, which plays along really well with physical health as well. And as Ali talked about, an uncomfortable student is a distracted, stuck, and unproductive student. So in this case, we're going to give you guys an example just to think about. So just imagine a child who skipped or didn't have access to breakfast. As the countdown to lunch approaches, the sound of his or her growling stomach will make it impossibly hard to hear the teacher's voice. An uncomfortable chair can have the same effect. So like Ali was saying, students really need to feel comfortable where they're sitting, and just have the freedom to choose what their comfort zone is, because I know my most comfortable learning position isn't going to be the same as Allie's, and it's not going to be the same as most of you guys that are listening to this. So just think about, as adults, we often have that opportunity to choose. As the teacher, you can pick what rolly chair you want to have behind your desk. You can choose where you want to walk, how you want to walk around the room, and what you want to do throughout the day, because you're in charge. So students also need to feel that same sense of choice and comfort within their learning environment, so that they get the most out of their education and they don't feel like they're being forced to sit at a desk. And again, that might be some students' comfort zone. So it might benefit you to have a few regular standard desks or tables in your classroom, but just remember that that's not everybody's best way to learn and be comfortable. And then our last benefit is going to be collaboration. So we talked about how flexible seating allows students to pair up with their peers in a quick and efficient manner. So students are able to collaborate in groups, engage in whole group discussion, and just rearrange the room as they go. So you aren't stuck moving desks every time you want to move into a group activity. It really helps you as the teacher in eliminating that planning period of how are we going to transition from whole group to small group, or from small group to partner, or from partner to individual work. So it's really easy for you to give the students a cue and they just know how to move and who their next group's going to be, which again allows them that choice. So it's really up to you how you teach them to signal that, but it really helps with collaboration, and they will have the opportunity to work with more than just their table mates. So in a normal classroom, you would have either the people at your table or the people close to your desk that you would normally work with throughout the day. But in a flexible seating environment that's efficient, they'll work with mostly all their peers and their other classmates throughout the day. So a teacher in New York actually said this quote, and we just wanted to add it because we thought it connected really well. She said, "The students we share our classrooms with don't know life without constant connectivity, Wi-Fi, and a global audience. Our classroom environment should be conducive to collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. This simply cannot be done when kids are sitting in a row of desks all day." So again, it just gets all those benefits in the collaboration, the comfort, the physical aspect, and the choice are all tied into that quote right there. And it just really stresses the importance of flexible seating for us. So we tied in just a couple pictures so you could see the different options. I like this picture here because you can see there are just regular seats. So this girl is sitting at a regular desk, but she's on a yoga ball. This kid over here at a regular chair, if you can see that regular chair, and then up here you have chairs that boing, chairs that bounce, chairs that rock, beanbag chairs, lawn chairs, pillows. There's just a whole lot of different options. The table shapes are all different, and you can see these students are all collaborating in different ways throughout the classroom. So it's really awesome just to have that mobility function and the opportunity for students to choose their comfort and where they'll focus best and what will get their mind and blood flowing in order for them to be the most productive students that they can be throughout the day.
So before you implement flexible seating into your classroom, there are some precautions that you could consider and just take into account before implementing. So set expectations for students, therefore things do not get out of hand. So with flexible seating, there's a lot of choice, and sometimes too much choice can be, lead to some management issues. So you want to make sure that you're really setting expectations for students and making sure that they know what is expected of them so things don't, get out of control. So an example here would be number one, choose a spot that allows you to do your best work. So students shouldn't be sitting with their best friends the whole day and talking, because that just really, isn't what flexible seating promotes. Number two, use seats appropriately. So don't, move them all to one side of the classroom, leaving the other side empty. You want to make sure that they're being used with respect and care and just being used appropriately. Take care of the community supplies. So because they're getting, things that a traditional classroom might not get, such as beanbag chairs and the, yoga balls they could sit on, they're taking care of them. They're not using them as a toy, and they're just being respectful of the classroom, the school, and people around them. Number four, teacher reserves the right to move anyone at any time. So with flexible seating, again, there's a lot of choice, but at the end of the day, the teacher is the person who can take that all away, and they could go back to desks and chairs, which I don't think they would like. So second one is have students sign an agreement in which they promise to respect flexible seating rules. So this is a fun little contract that you can do with your students at the maybe first week of school, where they kind of promise to use the workspaces appropriately. They are going to respect everyone and everything around them. And then if they don't, uphold to these commitments, they will not have the, privilege of flexible seating. So just keep in mind that although flexible seating is a great idea for many classrooms, some students, thrive with a lot of structure, which flexible seating can kind of diminish. So to keep both in mind that flexible seating can be great for some classes and maybe a little less for another class. But if you set these expectations, you will have a better outcome.
So we're going to wrap up with a little poll of how you guys are feeling. We hope you really did learn something from this and you saw the benefits that flexible seating does have. Before we have you guys react, I kind of just want to refer back to the pictures just to show the classroom isn't always going to look chaotic. When you hear flexible seating, it might sound a little scary. You think your kids are going to be all over the place. Again, it's really important to set those expectations. And if you just look how focused these students are in this picture and how these students seem to just enjoy what they're doing so much, it kind of eliminates that student feeling of entrapment of being in school. So if you guys want to just go ahead and let us know how you're feeling, we would love to hear from you. So if you want to go over here and maybe just draw a little smiley face to say, way to use flexible seating in your classroom, just to let us know how you guys are feeling. If you're maybe a little more weary, that is totally fine. We understand some of you guys like to be a little more traditional, so don't be shy to say that. But again, we hope you guys learned something, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. And just remember, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the minute chat, okay?
Stay
Thank you.
safe.